Be still and know that I am God. Dear brothers and sisters, in today's Gospel passage, Jesus presents us with two parables about the kingdom of God. In the first parable, he compares the kingdom of God to a seed that grows slowly and silently until it is a fully grown crop, ready for harvest. The underlying message of this parable is that God's work in us is not something dramatic or sudden. Rather, God is slowly able to bring His plans to fulfillment in our lives. It is commonly said that haste makes waste. In other words, whatever comes up suddenly is very often found to fail just as quickly as it came about. God accomplishes His work with great patience in the souls of those who open themselves to Him. He molds them gradually and gently, knowing what to give at what time. The book of Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1 says, "For everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven." While God is patient in forming us, we too need to be patient and cooperate with Him. We must not expect God to effect drastic changes in us overnight, but must yield to Him with great trust. St. James writes in his epistle, chapter 5, verse 8, "Behold, the farmer waits patiently for the precious fruit of the earth, being patient over it until it receives the early and late rain. You also be patient." Today the Church celebrates the feast of St. John Bosco, an Italian priest of the 19th century who devoted his life to the temporal and spiritual upliftment of the youth. Seeing the spiritual, moral, and material poverty of many of the youth in Turin, he took them under his care, establishing an oratory or a home for them where they could live and study in the hope of making a better future. While many people were upset that a respectable priest was associating with himself with ruffians and uncultured youth from the streets, Don Bosco was able to see something good in each of them, and, recognizing their talents and skills, he not only led them to a bright material future, but was also instrumental in leading them closer to God and helping them to grow as good Christians. Some of these boys even became priests, and with their common agreement, John Bosco founded the Salesian congregation. Among his many boarders were Saint Dominic Savio, Saint Joseph Cafasso, Blessed Michael Rua, Blessed Luigi Variara, and many others who went on to lead transformed and holy lives. One of the reasons why Saint John Bosco was able to guide many misguided youth to a saintly life was because he was patient with them. Saint Paul writes in 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 4, "Love is patient." May today's gospel passage inspire us to be patient with God's work in our lives, to be patient with ourselves and with others.